Yo, what's going on? Sean Murphy here. Welcome to the video. This one is going to be pretty special. This was a TikTok live that we did earlier this morning. Had a really great conversations going on with several people that jumped on, but I really went more in depth and detail into my own personal story from launching my first one-on-one personal training business, how that got started, into how I lost that and then transitioned to the boot camp world, and then how that became what we have today, which is Mayhem Strength and Fitness. But I also go into some of the struggles I went through and how that really affected me personally, especially when it came to my mindset, and how that actually drove me down to a very negative, dark road where I ultimately tried to take my own life and through a suicide attempt. So, and then how I came out of that. And so inside this video, not only am I sharing some of these valuable nuggets in my story, but also show you kind of the reasons why I'm so adamant about, you know, having these non-negotiables placed into your life, and how it's so important to work on yourself first if you're trying to achieve anything within life. So check out the video, and then I'll be honest, there were some times where it went in and out, and so the signal went bad a couple times, but hang in there. All the information is amazing. Let me know what you think in the comments here, and hope you enjoy this video. So with that said, let's go. Let me just share this with you guys. 16 years ago, when I started my first business, which was a franchise, I invested $29,000 just for the name Fitness Together. Like that entitled me to their name. I still had to pay a 5% royalty on the overall gross, not what I netted per month, but on my overall gross. I still had to pay them a 5% royalty every single month to keep the name, to keep the business going. I still had to purchase my own equipment. I still had to pay for my lease. I still had to do my marketing. I still had to pay for employees. I still had to have the insurance. I still had to have all the little nuts and bolts that go into that business. And I made it work for about 4 years. 2004 is when that business opened. And in 2008, the economy took that nosedive. And October of 2008, I had client after client coming in saying, I just lost my 401k. I just lost my job. I just lost this. I just lost that. I cannot re-up with you. October of 2008 was set up to be my biggest month ever in revenue. I was having projected to do somewhere between $30,000 to $34,000 in that month. And I was just holding on to those reins. I was like, here we go. Yeah, the economy's like I wasn't paying attention to the economy or anything. I was just like, this is like, I've been working so hard for the past, three years. Like, this is where it's going to add up to. I'm going to have my best month ever. And it ended up being my worst month of all time at October 2008, because client after client, all those renewals that I thought were going to come in, because I was doing high ticket personal training, where that October, where I was projected to do somewhere between $30,000 to $34,000, I did a big whopping $1,200. Not even enough to pay my rent for the month. And I was just like, now I'm just like scrambling. I'm like, what the hell is going on? I'm losing my entire business. Like, it hit me hard. And I started fighting. Like, I was still fighting with that business for 2 more years. It was September 2010 when I finally shut down those doors, and I pivoted. I pivoted to a different business model, which was then no longer the private one-on-one personal training. But I pivoted my business, and I went more to the boot camp model. That's where things were going. And because I lost everything, when I say I lost my personal training gym, I did. I lost my equipment. I lost credit. I lost my house. I went into bankruptcy. Like, I had creditors calling me. I had all kinds of credit card debt, all this stuff that was just like, I was in a very bad spot. But what I did was I spent the last $1,500 that I had, and I invested in a coach. His name was Bedros Keuilian. He is still around. But him and his business partner, Steve Hochman at the time, they were launching Fit Body Boot Camp. And at this time, it was just a license agreement. It was not the franchise that it is today. Today is one of the top selling franchises on Inc. 500 list. They keep growing. They're pounding. They're doing great. They're doing amazing things. But back at this time, it was just a license agreement. Like, we will license you the name. We will teach you how to grow a boot camp business. We will teach you how to do this business model. So I bought in. And what that business model was, go to your local gymnastics, go to your local martial arts studio, go to your local cheerleading facility, and sublease from them. build your program in early mornings when we're not using it, because most of these spaces are busy in the afternoons. They're doing kids programs and stuff like that. Not a whole lot of adults are doing gymnastics and cheer, right? But their kids are. And so, but the kids are doing it after school programs. So you could come in and sublease from them in the early mornings, and then, have this adult boot camp going on indoors, because a lot of boot camps are going on outdoors, right? So that was kind of how you differentiated yourself from your competition, was, hey, you have an indoor boot camp versus an outdoor one, which is really cool for all the weather and things like that. Like here in the state of Virginia, we get all the weather, right? Very hot in the summer, very cold and snowy in the winter kind of thing, right? So I went into that business model, and what was really cool was they taught me email marketing. Like that was the first marketing strategy they taught me, because they were like, if the gym facility or the gymnastics facility already has an email list, because it's all the parents with their kids, market to the parents who have their kids in there. And so that's what I did, was I said, hey, you have a current email list. God loves you too. Absolutely. Thank you for that, by the way. But email marketing was my first marketing approach. And I borrowed the gymnastics list, and I started marketing to the parents. And my first class, I had around 12, maybe 15 people show up, which was really cool. Like the very first boot camp class that I was running, 12 to 15, I can't exactly remember. I had a couple people come over from my other gym as well. It was like 12 to 15 people. But by the end of the week, I had over 30 people already in that program. And I did I don't even remember. I think I was doing like 21 days for $21, like something very, very, very cheap. What was really cool about the boot camp model was, it was a low investment for the person to get into. But the rate of return was good for the coach, because you could train a lot of people. So, you're training people for an hour, but you're training everybody at one time. So no longer was I training, 12 people throughout the day or anything like that. But now I was doing well. So that email marketing then became into, at that time, there was the Groupons, there's the Living Socials. We did that platform. But what really caught fire was when social media really came around. Now, mind you, this was around the time that MySpace was really big. Like when I had my first personal training facility, I was all over MySpace. Like I was actually getting clients off of MySpace. I actually hired trainers off of MySpace. And I'll never forget, I had this little argument with not an argument, but this little discussion with one of my clients. Her name was Laura. And she told me about Facebook. I was like, Facebook, what is that? Like MySpace is where it's at. But eventually I did get on Facebook, and Facebook became my funnel for traffic. And that's what I really learned, how powerful social media was to drive that business. And I really wish I would have followed even more closely with Elliot Hulse, who was like leveraging YouTube. Elliot Hulse at the same time, during this time, was leveraging his YouTube account. And I didn't know anything that he was doing on YouTube, but he became, he's world known. Like he's world renowned. He's an amazing strength coach. I did have the opportunity to go to St. Petersburg, Florida, and do a mastermind program with him and Zach Evanesh, which was really, really cool. So I'm growing. Now I'm learning Facebook marketing. I'm learning how to leverage my page. I'm learning how to, get testimonials from my clients and having them, share it to their wall. 2010 to 2016, at least 6 years, not one single ad spend. And I'm growing my gym business. And by the way, I moved from the gymnastics facility into my own space once I was able to pay cash for my equipment, pay cash for the rent, pay cash for everything. It is a debt-free business. And that's one reason why when COVID came in and shut my doors, I didn't really have to worry so much. Like I'm still like, okay, we're losing the income, we're losing the money, but at the same time, it wasn't dire straits like it was in 2008. Because I learned my mistakes from investing well over $300,000 with the first business, where the second business, I was like, I'm going all cash. If I can't pay cash for the barbell, then I'm not purchasing it yet. And in the beginning, we were doing bodyweight. We were doing military style training, and we were using the gymnastics mats, and it's saying unstable connection. So I hope you guys could still hear me on this thing. But we were using all the gymnastics equipment. And then later on, I was just bringing in dumbbells. I was bringing in chains. I was bringing in just anything that I could Like, you'll see it on Elliot's kind of videos on YouTube, because he was doing the same thing. Like, we were doing the same business model without knowing each other, which I think is really cool. And from there, when I got my own space, everything was paid for cash. That's where we got the rigs. Now inside we got the Sornix equipment. We got the Rogue equipment. It did become a period in my life where I had a very victim oriented mindset. I was very distraught. I was very negative. I was very caught in my own world upstairs up here. And at that point, I became suicidal even. And it was January of 2017. I actually did try to take my own life. I was hospitalized for it. I was put in cuffs, taken to the hospital. They said, you have two choices. We take it to the hospital, or we take it to jail. And he's like, if we take it to jail, you're going to be in front of a judge on Monday, because this happened on a Friday night. So I was going to spend all night or all weekend in the jail cell. And on Monday, you're going to face the judge, and the judge is going to send you to the hospital anyway. So which one do you want? I was like, well, I guess, take me to the hospital. Stayed in the hospital. But that's when I started learning about my negative attitude, my victim mindset, and all that stuff. And I was just like, you know what? I've got to change my ways. I've got to change who I am as a person. And one of the things was I was really overworked. I was all in on business. I was all in on so much of the outcome of the money, the outcome of the so focused on the outcome of everything that I was just like, it bogged me down. I wasn't focused on the passion anymore. Initially, when I got into the fitness space in the first place, was I had a passion for changing people's lives. Somewhere along the line, they became a number, and they just became, how much more money can I make? And that was the thing that crippled me. That was the thing that destroyed me. And that was the thing that really just ultimately almost took my life. I had to get back to the place of doing what I loved because I loved it. I had all the memories of all the hardships that I went through, from losing my first business, being homeless, being evicted from my apartment, whatever have you, like losing everything, going through the bankruptcy and all that stuff, that I vowed that I would never go through that again. And so I think I was just so driven into making as much money as I could, that everything else I just kind of threw to the wayside, and I lost myself along the way. And so this is why I talk so much on TikTok. This is why I talk so much, on my platform, about creating that balance and having the non-negotiables. And, it's okay to have aspirations and make a lot of money. Like, it's cool to do that. It's okay to do that. But at the same time, don't lose yourself along the way. Don't lose your time with your friends and your family. Don't lose time with your faith and your relationship with God. Don't lose time with, taking care of yourself. Because in a lot of ways, I was drinking a lot of alcohol. I was even smoking. I'm a personal trainer who was smoking. Because of just that stress level and things of that nature. So I'm all about the balance. And here's the thing, it's okay to go all in on the business side as long as you're taking care of the others. And here's the thing, you're never going to be we talk about the 4 check boxes, right? And I appreciate the love, guys. Jay, appreciate it. Love it. Love and time. I truly appreciate the love here, guys. But there's, in our lives, every aspect of our lives fit in one of these 4 boxes. It fits into your faith. It fits into your fitness. It fits into your finances, and it fits into your family. Anything that you're doing with your life will fit into one of those check boxes. Okay? And so let's say we're going all in. Let's say you're somebody who's like, hey, I need to lose weight. I need to take better care of myself. So you start going all in. Like, I'm going to change up my diet. I'm going to start doing meal prep. I'm going to show up to the gym. Like, da-da-da-da-da. Well, then another area of your life starts slipping away. Like, maybe you're not paying as much attention to other areas that you should be focusing on, or things of that nature. That's gonna happen. But here's what I would say is, before you go all in on your fitness, before you go all in on one of these check marks, look at the other avenues in your life and create what I call non-negotiables. And these non-negotiables are, all right, so that I don't lose my time with God, what will I do every single day to work on my faith? And that's a non-negotiable. Like, for me, it's daily prayer and it's daily scripture. Like, because I'm up early every morning between 4 and 4:30, like 4:30 is my cutoff. Like, I need to be out of bed and headed to the gym by 4:30 in the morning. So one of the things I do for Selena first thing in the morning is I send her a Facebook message by video, and it's a good morning message. Just, hey, good morning, babe. I'm here at the gym. I'm safe, whatever. whatever I have to say to her for today, whatever that Facebook allows is like 20 seconds or whatever. That's a non-negotiable. Every day when she wakes up, she has that message waiting on her from me. And so that's a way to work on our relationship. Every week, we do at least a date night. I just posted last night about, we were out on a date. We actually had a lot of fun. We were celebrating Veterans Day together. It was something that she had planned. But we always have scheduled. We talk about it on Sunday. What night is our date night this week? And so we schedule that. And nothing gets in the way of that date night. So if one of my buddies calls up, he's like, yo, dude, like, we're going to go grab a beer. It's the Ravens playing, whoever over here. We're going to do this. If me and Selena have already decided like that's a date night, sorry, fellas, not joining tonight. I'm working on my relationship first. So I hope this is making sense about the non-negotiables. Like, set up the non-negotiables in every box so that when you do go all in on the things that you need to work on, whether it's your business, whether it's your fitness or whatever, maybe it's your relationship. Maybe you need to be going all in on working on your relationship first. Maybe it's your relationship with yourself, which is something I had to do for a very long time after that suicide attempt. So wherever you got to go all in, I'll be honest, like when I was going all in on myself with my mindset and things like that, like I pulled away from dating. I pulled away and I just said, you know what? I don't need to date anybody right now. And that's cool. My relationship box at that point was my relationship with myself. And I guess what I'm trying to say here, guys, in a very long-winded way about it is, it's okay that, you're putting 60% into one of the boxes over here, and then you're putting 10, and maybe 20 in another box. Just don't neglect them entirely. Does that make sense? Because you're never going to have perfect balance. Like, it's never going to be this pie where I'm going to focus this amount of time and this, like, it's never going to be perfect right about that. Right. And so it's okay to be all in somewhere else, but don't neglect the other places. Okay. That's all I have to say. That's where the non-negotiables come into play. So I hope that serves you. I hope that gives you guys some tips. If you guys want to check out any more of my story, again, salvationstrength.com is the blog website. I'm actually going to relaunch that. I think after doing some of these lives and some of these conversations I've had here recently, it might be something that I continue doing. And so if it's something that you're interested in, jump on over there. You can read a little bit more about my story, my blogging. I kind of treat it like a daily journal kind of thing. But who knows? Maybe a book is coming. Maybe a podcast is coming. My boy Josh just released a book, by the way. Super excited. I already sent him a message. I was like, let me know how I can Venmo you a payment. I want an autographed copy. And I cannot wait to get my hands on his book. And we'll probably end up doing some type of live on TikTok or somewhere where I'm going to let him just talk to my audience all about his book, and we'll help him increase his sales and all that kind of good stuff with his new book launch, which is going to be amazing. So, but appreciate you guys being here. I'm going to jump off here before my phone actually dies. Hopefully save this video and hopefully get it up on YouTube. But thank you so much for joining on, guys. Mad love and appreciation to each and every one of you. Keep crushing it in life. Appreciate you so much for watching this video. Yes, unfortunately, it did get cut out because of TikTok connection issues, whatever. But if you have any interest in my blog, like I said, I'm going to drop all the links in here, including the link to Josh, where you can befriend him on TikTok, as well as a link to his YouTube page. He specializes in email marketing. So check him out. I know the book launch is going to be November 20th, so be on the lookout for that if you're interested in getting your copy of his book that's coming out. But truly appreciate you being here. Thank you for watching the video. I know I probably waited way too late to say this, but if you enjoyed this video, hit the subscribe, hit the like, drop a comment on how I can better serve you with your business so that you could kick ass in business as well as life. With that said, I'm out.